Hello everyone, this is Sonya from Sonya's Quilts and Embroidery, and I got a lovely email from Miss Sonya Jones, and I thought that I would do a little, well, it can't be a first of the year video because we are almost in February, but I was going to give you a little rundown about what's been going on in our lives here. Well, for one thing, I'm sewing up the holes, the stuffing holes in a teddy bear while I'm talking. So I got to make this lady 3. This is the second one. I'll show you the first one. And I've got one more. After this one, it's going to have the little poem actually hand sewn on the front of the chest, but that's the last thing I do. So, but anyway, I'm gonna do a little short video. Got a customer on her way. Also made 16 of these the last week. I think I made 16 blue jean. These are made out of blue jeans. That's the front of the blue jean. I made 16 of them. So I had 8 pair of blue jeans. This is what the back side looks like. Lady in South Alabama wanted as many pillows as I could get out of 8 pair of blue jeans as I could get, and 2 pillows per pair is all I could do of a 16-inch pillow. But anyway, Christmas rush, really, you know, trying to get everything done and all of that, it really takes a lot out of me. And so it takes me, and I wanted to do some organizing, getting rid of some stuff out here, trying to get things kind of straightened up to start the new year. And I did that somewhat. Well, I didn't get enough done, but I got some done. And I'm just tired. I'm just really tired after get all the Christmas orders done. And, you know, it takes me a while in January to get started back up. Well, then on the 11th day of January, about bedtime, we get a call that my husband's father is being rushed to the emergency room and that he's not acting right. And so my husband and I get ready. It takes us about 45 minutes to get to the hospital that he's going to. And he lives in the next county. So we get there, walk in the emergency room, and he's already on life support when we get there. He's in a medical-induced coma, and he is on a ventilator. So we hang out there to try to figure out what's going on. They do some x-rays. They check to see if he's had a stroke. He did not have a stroke. He did have a UTI, but he also had a double pneumonia. So the doctor came in and just said it was really bad, but they were going to treat it aggressively, and they were going to transfer him to the ICU. So I went out to the truck to get me a drink, and while I was gone, they moved him to the ICU. And I'll tell you why I went to the truck to get a drink here just in a minute. That's a whole nother story there. But anyway, while I was gone, they moved him to ICU, and my husband was, you know, they had him all settled in, and he was, you know, pretty stable for the situation, and we left. So the next morning we get up, we go back down there, and they are taking all this crap out of his lungs. Apparently he aspirated some food, it got in his lungs and caused him to have double pneumonia, and he could not breathe. So he was already cyanotic when we got to the hospital. So anyway, that went on. He was on life support for 5 days. So he gets off of life support, and he leaves the ICU the next day, after 24 hours of being off of the ventilator. He goes into a progressive care, a step down from the intensive care, and he is in there for a day or 2 maybe, and then they put him into a regular room, and he's in a regular room for a day, and they move him to the rehab facility. And he has been in the rehab facility so much that he is down to only having 28 days left. You have to go through a 60-day wellness period before your days start over. He actually has 100 days a year But he can't stay out of the hospital and he can't stay out of the nursing home long enough to get his days built back up. So I don't know what's going to become of that. But they moved him to the rehab facility last Tuesday. And then we get a call early Thursday morning that the nursing home had called an ambulance and they carried him, ran him emergency to the closest facility, which is actually in our county, because he was in a nursing home in our county. And if you look at the map of my area, Lauderdale and Colbert County, the only thing that separates Lauderdale and Colbert County is the Tennessee River. So, most, people in, it's called the Quad Cities. 3 cities are on one side of the river, and Florence, Alabama is on my side of the river. And most shows, Tuscany and Sheffield, you can't tell where one stops and the other starts. It's kind of confusing if you're not from around here. But Florence is on my side, and that's where he was at the rehab facility. And we get a call that he had been carried to our local hospital on this side of the river, and he was unresponsive. They had found him unresponsive that morning, which in my opinion, they sent him to rehab too fast. I mean, he was on life support, got off life support on Thursday, and on Tuesday, they sent him to rehab. But anyway, he was unresponsive on Thursday. I carried him by ambulance, run emergency, to the closest facility, which is the hospital on my side of the river. And he they think he may have had a light heart attack. He had something, but he was unresponsive most of the day. He finally came, even with a sternum rub, and if you've never had a sternum rub, you don't know what you're missing, because that is some powerful stuff. But anyway, he was unresponsive, and they put him into progressive care. He finally came around that evening, and very confused, extremely confused. Couldn't figure out why they took him to the hospital, all this. So anyway, he's been in there since last Thursday. He's still in there. They're not even talking about sending him home. He has got a blood clot in his left leg, and that has just been very time consuming this year, because I don't want my husband to to have to deal with all this by himself. So I try to always be there with him for whatever, he needs support with. I don't want him to, to do it alone. So we don't have any young children to have to stay at home with. So when he goes, I go. So that's taken up a lot of my time, this year, and something that couldn't be helped. And then last Tuesday, we get a phone call at 2:30 in the morning. My daughter works in Huntsville. She gets home at 2:30, and we get a call at 2:30 that she has had a wreck and hit a large deer. And her daddy says, "Where are you?" She says, "I'm in the driveway." So we go outside. We could tell, she's got her front end damage because there's only one headlight shining. And she is very upset. And because she was actually driving our spare vehicle, and that's what got totaled eventually. The insurance company did total that car, but she hit about a 7 or 8 point buck, and she was about 500 feet from getting home. So it's just been like a 3-ring circus around here ever since the first of the year. So that's why I have been out of commission. And a lot of days I think, well, I'll film this. And I've just been, it's like a mental thing I get into every year after Christmas. It just, somebody said, well, that's why they call it the Christmas crunch. It is a crunch. It is mentally, physically, emotionally, absolutely exhausting. And I don't know if anybody of you who all follows me on Facebook, but you can see that I did a sorry excuse for a Christmas tree this year. Couldn't get anybody to help me put it up. My daughter was like, there's no point in putting it up now, because I wanted to put up Christmas Eve because I've been so busy. And I was like, you're right. We won't put up a tree. So then my grandsons came. We always have Christmas here with the kids and the grandkids the weekend after Christmas, so they can go wherever they need to go, do whatever they want to do, and not have to, when they get to our house, they can relax, eat what they want to, play a while, eat again, whatever they want to do. And so my grandsons came on Thursday, the day after Christmas, to spend the night, and they said, "Abuela, are you not going to put up a Christmas tree?" I said, "You're right." And it was in a box, still in the box it came in. And I said, "I do need to put up my tree. So I stood it on its end, put it in front of the front door that we hardly ever use, and put a snowman hat on it. And they're like, ugh. But that was my Christmas tree this year. I put my presents on the floor below it. And this year, one of the main problems with getting my tree up is it was in the attic of this shop, and I can't get it down by myself. So my husband gets home on Fridays. He's home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And Monday was slipped by, and I still wouldn't have my tree down. So I finally got it down just a few days before Christmas, and couldn't get anybody to help me put it up and help me do all of that. So I didn't, first time in my adult life, I did not put up a tree. But, maybe they'll learn that sometimes I might need help. But anyway, we also made a huge lifestyle change. We have become sovereign citizens. No, just joking. We have decided to go on a money diet. In our personal lives, we have decided to follow Dave Ramsey's teachings on the Total Money Makeover. And I want to tell you, if you've never done this before, it is absolutely great. We've only been 2 paychecks into it, and we did not realize how much money was slipping through our fingers each month on crap until we give every dollar a job. And we gave every dollar a job. It was just astounding how much money that we were wasting. So, we are doing very, very well. We should be, we had like 3 car loans and a camper loan. Paid the house off. We paid the house off about two years ago, I guess, almost. We only financed it for 5 years. And it was a foreclosure, and we bought it. It was my grandmother's house, and somebody had bought it and let it foreclose. And we paid it off, and we actually financed it 5 years. We paid it off in less than 5. But anyway, we don't have the house, but we also have a home equity line of credit, which is, same thing. But it's not a whole lot. And but I was going to pay off my Cadillac. I've got an older Cadillac. I don't buy new cars. Never have liked buying new cars. Don't like to make a car payment. Hate making car payments. Didn't mind paying the mortgage at all. Them car payments make me sick to my stomach. But anyway, we went and got, we was going to pay off the Cadillac first, because it was the least amount owed. And then we were going to hit a personal loan that we had, because it was the next lowest. And what you do is when you pay off a loan, like, say, my Cadillac, the payment was $175 a month. You take that $175 and you add that to your next lowest payment, and you're paying the $175, and our next lowest one, I think the payment was $156. So we add those two together, and you pay that one off. And then when you get to the third one, you have the car payment, the personal loan payment, and the new payment, which those were $510 added all together, and you apply it to the next loan. Well, everything went topsy-turvy when my daughter wrecked the Kia, or the deer wrecked the Kia. And so they totaled it. And, of course, when they totaled it, they sent the credit union a check to pay it off. And they gave me a check for the balance. And there was I took the check they gave me to the bank, deposited it, and said, now I want you to I want to pay off the Cadillac. And it left me with $79. And the biggest peace of mind, knowing that now the Kia is paid off, but we no longer have the Kia. But at least, it's paid off. And the Cadillac's paid off. So now we'll work on the personal loan. And I think I got it figured out that it will be paid off by sometime in May. And then we'll work on the camper. And we should have the camper paid off about 3 months after that. And then we will go to the home equity line of credit. And we will be debt-free. Of course, you're never debt-free. You always get the power company and the water department and all of that. But that's all we'll have is our regular household maintenance type bills that come in. And the internet. So, I'm hoping when we get debt-free that I can add to my embroidery business by buying a second machine. Hopefully. I have a customer coming in. And I can hear her coming in. hear her opening her, slamming her doors. And but anyway, that's what's been going on with the Wallace family this year. It's been total chaos. I don't like chaos. I like boring days. I like days where my husband calls me from work, says, well, what's going on? I say, absolutely nothing. I've been sewing. Charlotte's gone to work. And the dogs are asleep on the couch. I don't like drama and chaos. But anyway, that's what's been going on. I should get started back up here pretty soon. Hopefully everybody will get straightened out. Right now, me and my daughter are having to share the Cadillac. Her vehicle, she was actually driving our spare vehicle because hers needed some front end work done on it and a couple of other things. And we have got that into express mode to get those things rectified on her vehicle. But now I use the car in the morning or early afternoon, and she takes over at 10 minutes till 4 and goes to work, and she gets home about 2:30. And so I think my customers are lost. I don't know why. When they come to my house, they will go to my house when I clearly tell them that I'm at my shop. But I don't know. But anyway, they've apparently gone to my house, and my daughter is a daytime sleeper. So, but anyway, that's what's going on. Thank you, Miss Sonya Jones, for your concern. I appreciate that. That means so much that you've missed my videos. But, you know, wasn't a whole lot that I could video. So that's what's going on. Thank you all so very, very much, and have a great, great Thursday. Bye-bye.